Hi, my name is Doug Hench. I'm the CEO and founder of myhappier.com, a site that helps you measure, track, and improve your happiness. I've been lucky enough to help thousands of people increase their happiness and resilience, both online and as a professional facilitator. As a special bonus by the end of this video, I'll share with you the secret to happiness. But before we talk about the secret to finding happiness, I have a confession to make. I'm not a naturally happy person, or a resilient one. In fact, I've had my bouts with sadness and depression, like millions of other people. I've experienced a painful divorce, several layoffs, a failed business, and my share of rejection and uncertainty. To make matters worse, I'm an introvert. I tend to ruminate when I'm anxious about the future, angry with a friend, or trying to cope with adversity. In fact, when something bad happened to me in the past, my first reaction used to be to give up. But I'm also here to tell you how I learned some very simple techniques that allowed me to bounce back, and how being happier and more resilient have been the key to my success. You see, happiness is not just a state of mind. It's a resource that can help us achieve our goals. The research shows that happier people are, on average, healthier, make more money, have better relationships, and they live longer. The best part of the research is that anyone can learn to be happier and more resilient. That's right, let me repeat that. There's proven research about the simple things we can do to make us happier. And best of all, this can be done in just 5 minutes each day. My personal journey to being happier started with a book by Dr. Martin Seligman, Authentic Happiness. It was the first time that I learned about the science of positive psychology. There were scientists, including Marty, who were actually studying happiness, and the results were fascinating. Dr. Seligman and others were running simple experiments that tested the effects of positive emotions, engagement, meaning, and more. In one experiment, participants were asked to complete a couple of tests that measured their happiness and their levels of depression. Then each person was instructed to complete a gratitude exercise every night for just 1 week. When the week was over, they were measured for happiness and depression again. The research team was completely surprised to learn about the incredible results. On average, the participants' depressive symptoms dropped by more than 90%. In addition, the participants saw a corresponding increase in their levels of happiness. Again, more than 90%. Impressive, right? Actually, not as impressive as what the researchers learned next. It turns out that when they measured the happiness and depression levels of the participants, they showed improvement at 3-month and 6-month intervals. How could a 5-minute exercise for 1 week affect these people for this extended period of time? It turns out that while the participants were required to practice the gratitude exercise for only 1 week, many of them continued the exercise for months. You see, this simple exercise, and others that we'll discuss shortly, had an almost addictive quality. It felt good, and it was good for them. So they kept doing it. In fact, many of the exercises developed and tested by scientists have this quality. They are inherently satisfying. In the last 20 years, the research has looked at dozens of areas that affect happiness: money, job loss, divorce, and more. There are also interesting findings around savoring positive experiences, mindfulness, forgiveness, strengths, and curiosity. But the one area of research that really caught my attention was emotionally expressive writing. The pioneer in this area, Dr. James Pennebaker, discovered that when research participants wrote about their adversities in an uninhibited way, they achieved some startling results. People who were instructed to write for several minutes a day, just 3 to 4 days in a row, showed higher levels of optimism, better health, and experienced more positive emotions. How can that be? How can writing for just a couple of minutes a day help you be happier? First, writing reduces inhibition. Unfortunately, human beings are predisposed to ruminate. Writing about our emotions gives us an outlet. Expressive writing can help us come to new understandings about trauma and adversity. It can help make difficult times seem more manageable. Next, expressive writing promotes self-awareness and self-understanding. Writing creates structure. It helps organize our thoughts. This allows you to follow your thoughts and ideas to a conclusion, something we all crave. Expressive writing helps create objectivity. That is, it allows us to detach ourselves from events. This, in turn, leads to less extreme responses to adversity. Finally, writing down your thoughts and emotions is kind of like downloading a file from your computer, which is kind of like removing it from your brain. So why not just write in a paper journal or type into your own computer? First, there are multiple ways to write about your emotions. We'll give you the guidance you need to do this the scientifically proven way. Second, there are multiple techniques for increasing your positivity. Third, the research has aided us in developing several methods for helping you manage your negative thoughts. Finally, human beings adapt to just about anything. If you do the same thing every day, it gets old and boring. My Happier brings you a new, science-backed approach every day. An approach that is backed by over 40 years of research. Speaking of research, I've had the pleasure of working alongside some of the top researchers in the field of positive psychology. I've worked with Todd Kashdan, Karen Ravitch, Robert Biswas-Diener, and Barbara Fredrickson, each offering their unique expertise and point of view. In addition, I had the chance to work closely with Dr. Martin Seligman of the University of Pennsylvania. Seligman is the author of over 20 books, the lead positive psychology consultant to the U.S. Army, and considered by many to be the father of positive psychology. Consulting with these experts has allowed me to gain access to some of the greatest minds studying happiness and resilience. It's this access and hundreds of hours of working with my clients that gave me the inspiration for myhappier.com. I realized that my mission was to reach millions of people in a simple, easy-to-use way. So here's how it works. First, register for a free account. There's no obligation and it takes less than a minute. Feel free to read our blog or take our free happiness test to see how you rank. Next, sign up for a monthly subscription. Then, complete a new microjournal every day and see yourself transform. We're so confident that you'll get happier that we have a 30-day money-back guarantee. No questions asked. If you have goals you'd like to achieve, things you'd like to do, or you just want to be happier, what have you got to lose? So, what is the secret to happiness? After studying this topic for over 10 years, coaching thousands of people like you and working with the world's experts, I've come to the conclusion that the concept of happiness is complex, but becoming happier is simple. What makes one person feel as if she's having a meaningful life is different from another. For some people, practicing gratitude on a daily basis makes a big difference. For others, a main ingredient in their happiness is getting control of their own negativity. Still, others should focus most of their attention on reaching out and building supportive relationships. So in the end, context matters. Each person needs to find his or her path to being happier. And that's why I set out to create myhappier.com. I've read tons of books, been to dozens of seminars, and registered on lots of sites, all of which promised in one way or another to unlock the secrets to happiness. But they were all missing something. The so-called experts focused on their methods, even though the research tells us each person is unique. My Happier is all about you. You answer research-backed questions. You go at your own pace. You don't need to memorize a 5 or 7-step process. Just log in once a day for about 5 minutes and you'll see a change in yourself. I know you've seen money-back guarantees before, but I'd like to think this one is a little different. You see, I use My Happier every day. I developed it for people like you and me. I stand by my product, and I hope you give it a try. Thanks for watching.